Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you guys tonight to the Team Heather Rice Zoom call. And I have my special guest with me, Diamond Ambassador Rainey Anderson. We are going to open up with prayer first, and then we will get started. So everybody, bow your head, and we will get started.
Okay, Lord Father, thank you so much for this opportunity to come together with the technology that you blessed us with. Father God, please use Heather as an instrument, as your voice and your will for our team. Lord, please open the ears and hearts of everybody on this call, and let us just learn and grow from it. It's in your precious Son's name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. If you want to mute your your connection, and we will unmute them at the end for questions. So if you have any questions, write them down. We'll address them at the end. We're going to try to keep it to 30 minutes tonight, okay? So we have a lot to cover. First, I want to thank you guys for coming and taking the time to invest in your business as well as yourself. And also, I wanted to say it was so awesome to see so many of you guys at convention in Phoenix. Now, I know not everybody was there, but that's okay because you will be there with us next year. That's the plan.
Or better yet, you're going to be with us at the Leaders Retreat in Washington, D.C. in mid-October.
That is right. So I wanted to just give that initial greeting and thank you guys for coming to tonight's call and taking the time to invest with us. I wanted to kind of touch on a few touch points, some kind of takeaways that I personally took away from convention. Some of these were actually in meetings that you guys, we all went to different meetings. For those of you who weren't there, they broke it down by rank. And so some of the meetings that Rainey and I were able to attend were different meetings than the ones you guys did. And I wanted to kind of give some of my takeaways from those meetings. And then we're going to kind of address a couple housekeeping issues, and we're going to open it up for questions. So we want to kind of get your takeaways as well because we feel like we can all learn from each other. One of the things that I wanted to talk about first was how important it is to engage your new people, your new ambassadors, or even your new customers within the first 30 days. And the reason why this is important is because the momentum is going and they're able to kind of hop on board, and with our help as a team, as their sponsors or as their upline, we can really invest in them and really get them off to a good start. They're going to have to, like I said last week, have a good firm foundation on the product line as well as the comp plan, as well as how to share the business opportunity. So that is our job as we get new ambassadors, to really get them off to a good start. And we really want to focus on trying to get that first 30 days. That's really important. Do you have anything to add to that one?
No, I think that's perfect advice. The more we stay in touch with our new team members, the more engaged they're going to be, the more a part of things they're going to feel like, and the more of a relationship you're going to build with them, which is crucial because, again, circling back around, this is all about network marketing and relationship building.
So to piggyback off that, as we talked about last week, we really want to focus on what the first goal is to reach silver. And I know that there's new people here and that have not been able to reach silver yet, and that's okay. That's where we start. That's the starting point.
And let's talk 1 second. Let me jump in. What does it mean to go silver, Heather?
That's right. That means that we have to have 3 personally sponsored ambassadors in our first 3 levels. So levels 1, 2, and 3. Those are people that have purchased a welcome pack as well as products, because we want them to actually be on the products so that they can start sharing it with other people.
Well, actually, so like silver, hang on, I want to make sure everyone makes, because we talked about levels 1, 2, and 3. For you to go silver personally, you have to personally sponsor 3 people.
Correct.
So what your team does from there is great. But for you personally to go silver, you must sponsor 3 people, which means you've had 3 people join you on this journey. So what 3 people do you know that you could target to, that have been customers, for those of you that have done this for a while, or those of you that have just started, start building your customer base, but then out of those customers, focus on what 3 people would you like to see join your team, so you can turn silver and be well on your way to building a team, as well as an initial $100 bonus.
That's right. I'm sorry I wasn't clear on that. See, this is why I have my compadre. We work better as a team.
Hey, 2 heads are better than 1.
That's right. 4 eyes instead of 2. So for those of you who are new, silver's the first goal. For those of you that are maybe even gold or another rank, we still want to continue in our mind with turning silver again every month. So that means you still personally sponsor 3 ambassadors. That can come from new people that you've spoken with, or it can also come from your preferred customers if you've been doing this a while and you have a few customers. Sometimes people aren't going to know if they're not asked and explained the business opportunity if this is something that they want to do as a business. So I think it's very important that every month we kind of renew ourselves and we just keep trying, because whenever you are trying to rank up to all the different levels, you're still going to have to balance. Once you start getting a team under you, you're still going to have to balance bringing on new customers as well as pressing into those who are your team and your downline. So that's the first thing that I wanted to discuss. And then last week we talked a lot about our DMO plan, and that's our daily method of operation plans. And since we have left Leaders Retreat, we have a new contest. And it's to get to the Leaders Retreat, which is in October in Washington, D.C. And Rainey and I have spent a lot of time discussing this and hoping that each one of you believe in yourself and will do what it takes to get yourself there, and encourage those people that are coming up in your team to also believe in themselves and do what it takes to get there.
Y'all, and Heather joined Plexus in basically July of 2013. And she earned the Leaders Retreat for that year, which was, again, in October. Not only did she earn it, but she also earned some additional prizes that were offered if you look at our convention contest. So I want you to believe in yourselves, because Heather joined in July, and she earned it with lots of points or credits towards other prizes. What all did you earn?
I earned a travel voucher.
You earned a spa?
No, I didn't. I didn't have enough to do the spa.
Okay, sorry.
But I did earn the travel voucher. And honestly, guys, I can tell Rainey, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go because I don't think I'm going to get enough credits. Y'all, it is so possible to be able to achieve this. And I want you guys to understand that it's what we do now that is going to make the difference. We just had the convention go by. That contest is over. That day ended, yesterday ended last night. So going forward, we have to realize, okay, we have a lot of people that we can share this with to get us the credits and everything that we need. And I really, really, really want to see everybody there.
It's so much more fun when we're there with our teams. And that is one thing I have learned throughout these events, is that we have a much better time when we are represented on a whole. So draw your line in the sand and write on your planner or whatever you use to keep yourself organized that I am in the process of earning the Leaders Retreat in October. And then what steps are you going to take to get there? Back into those credits, y'all. We basically know that for each preferred customer, we get 5 credits. And then for each sponsored ambassador on our first 4 levels, we get 10 credits. So what is it going to take to get you to that 650 credits to qualify to go? When you really divide it out per day, it's very, very doable, and we know that each of you can do it. And so we're looking forward to having an amazing time with you all in Washington, D.C.
How many of you guys with a raise of hands have been to a Leaders Retreat with Plexus? Okay. There's lots of hands, so you guys can attest to the fact that it's so much more fun when our whole team is there, because it's our family, and we are here for each other. And it's so great to celebrate the achievements of those people who were able to make it there. So I really do want you guys to be there.
It's an opportunity, not to continue to harp on it, but it's an opportunity for us to be with you in a smaller setting. I love convention. It's amazing. It's big though, y'all. And so this is an opportunity for us to come together and really form more of those bonds. And that's really what we're looking for in the back half of 2015 into 2016, is to grow more of you as leaders so you can enjoy more of the perks that Plexus has to offer.
That's good. You're right. I mean, it's really, you know, how people say, you know, it's kind of lonely when you're by yourself, but whenever you have your friends alongside you, that makes it all the difference. And this is my friend, and y'all are all my friends, and I want y'all to all be there together. For those of you who are for those of y'all who are at convention, understand this concept, because although we didn't get to see everybody in one big chunk, we felt like we were able to see people in, you know, we'd be one place and there'd be like a whole group from this team and a whole group from this team. And so, yeah, I mean, that's just, it's the camaraderie. Okay. So one of the things I wanted to share with you that I learned in the Jewel training, you know how we've had discussions before. If you're new, this necessarily won't be on your radar, but for those of you who have done this for a little while and have actual people in your back office that are your white lines, which means they have gone inactive for whatever reason, I think in the past we have spent a lot of time kind of I know for myself, I've spent a lot of time going after people and trying to get them to come back. And that's one of the things that I learned possibly might be not the best way to do it. So one thing that I learned at our meeting was to focus our time on the top 20% of the people in your downline. And for those of you who don't have a downline yet, focus on getting customers, preferred customers preferably, so you can maximize your bonus check, your commission check. But we need to be spending 80% of our time focusing on the top 20% in our downline. So what that would mean, what that would look like would be not get on your back office and see all the white lines and dread it and be upset because those people have gone elsewhere. That's okay. But what you want to focus on is notice the blue lines. Notice the people on your downline list that actually have a higher PV over the 100. You know, it doesn't have to be huge. It could be 200, 300. They're obviously doing something to have their PV go up, which means they're probably getting customers. They may have a few people in their downline. So you want to take the time to invest in those people, because those are the ones who are actually working the business along with you. And you may run into somebody that may have a higher PV and they're maybe not so much working the business, but you'll be able to tell that when you make contact with them. And so you won't spend so much of your time trying to chase after people who have already kind of hung up their towel and called it quits by the white lines. But instead, we start looking at our downline. Guys, every month, at the end of the month, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I go to the back office and I look at the entire downline and I see who is close to the 500 PV. And I'll send them an email on all y'all's team. I go for the whole downline. And I say, you know, Rainey, you are $393. If you can get it up to 500, you're going to maximize your PV, and your PV check will be 25% as opposed to 15%. Guys, y'all won't even realize how many people don't even look at that. They don't realize it. They send me messages every month saying, oh my gosh, thank you for letting me know that. I didn't even know I was that close. So at the end of the month, if y'all will look at your downline and see the PVs, and if they're 300 to 500, I would send them a message and just say, hey, I just want to do you a service. I like for my people to be able to get their maximum commission check. And that's going to help them. That's going to help them when they get their paycheck, and they'll appreciate it that you actually are paying attention to them. And then those are the people also that you can ask them, hey, What can I help you with? I see your PV's up to 400 or 300 or 200. I'm really trying to invest in the people that are under me. So what can I do? How can I help you be able to grow your business? And you'll be surprised at the input you get back. There's a lot of people out there that are just kind of hanging on because they don't really know what to do, and they don't really know the next steps on how to grow their business. And with all of us working together and really pressing into them, we can come up with a solution for all these people's teams to grow. And I want you guys to invite them to be on this page so that they can be in these calls and be involved, and so they feel a part of our team, because they are. And when we have more than one person working towards the same goal, then you feel supported and you feel enabled and you feel able to go maybe the extra mile that you may not have been if you were kind of walking it alone. So I hope that makes sense as far as investing in your top people instead of worrying about the ones that have gone inactive. The other thing that I learned in our meeting was this, and I know that this is going to resonate with you guys because we are all at different stages in this journey. But one of the things that was shared in the group, and it really touched me, was this. You know, we have teammates that are at very different stages in their journey, and we have people with different personalities. Some people, you know, are more reserved. Some people are more outgoing. And so sometimes for the ones that are more reserved, it's a little bit more of a struggle because it's out of their comfort zone to speak up to people. But one of the things that I feel like maybe I have done a disservice to you guys is this. You know, when people come to me sometimes and they ask me, well, I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know how to grow my team, or I don't know how to start a conversation, and you said you can just talk to anybody, but that's not my strength. And I've said, you know, well, maybe you need to expand your networks. Maybe you need to post more on Facebook, all different things, because I think those things are good things. But one of the things that I think is going to be beneficial to those people who feel stunted in their growth with their business is this. Not always is it going to be the answer of you need to go find more friends or whatever. It might be that right now what God is needing for you to do is to practice some self-development. Get some books that help you be a better communicator. If one of the things is your struggle that you don't know how to initiate a conversation with somebody, then maybe communication, how to communicate. I shared a book last week, a John Maxwell book on communication. And I listed it in the file so you can go back and reference it. But necessarily the answer isn't always, well, you just need to find more friends. And I feel like I've done a little bit of a disservice in saying that, because I think possibly the answer could be, you know, maybe you don't need any more friends right now. Maybe the Lord has you in a place where He's trying to develop you as a person. And the skills that we learn, guys, in helping communicate what we want to share with people, it's not just for our business. It's a life skill. And sometimes we don't have that life skill. And it's something that we can develop, and that will be beneficial for us not only in our business, but also in our relationships. So I highly, highly recommend, like I've said before, those John Maxwell books, but I wanted to share one other one. It's called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And it's by John C. Maxwell. The workbook would be a good solution for starting out your journey on that. And Amazon, I think right now has it back ordered. Yeah, because I know a lot of people are delving into that book as leaders. But this would be a great one to get your hands on. Maybe Half Price Books or some of the other Barnes & Noble might have it. So please write that one down. If you feel like, I really do think everyone can benefit from it. I'm going to be going through it as a workbook. Rainey's going to be going through it as a workbook. And I think it will be very beneficial for us as a team to just develop those leadership skills. Because you guys, Although our businesses kind of skyrocketed and we kind of didn't really know, well, I can only speak for myself. I kind of didn't really know what I was doing. I am thankful for where I am right now because it's giving me a chance to develop those things that I really, really needed to develop as a person, as a leader. And I can't say enough good things about self-development.
Well, and I was just going to say, when I started off in this business, the three top things that I did that I really do feel help propel my business to where it is today is, number one, I did concentrate on building my customer base. Number two, I was just incredibly diligent about my follow-up. And number three, I did develop my leadership skills. I found people that I could resonate with. And there's only one, like Celeste, there's only one Sarah Marble, there's only one Sonia Dudley, only one Jeff Hawkins, and there's only one Rainey Anderson. But what I did was I mirrored what I liked from those individuals, and I put it into something that I could be comfortable with, where I was an authentic me. I was never going to be, one of them, but I could learn things from them and make it comfortable for me to develop myself into a leader. But you have to, if you're serious about growing your business, and here's the thing, if you're not and you just want to grow your team to a certain point, that's okay too. But if you're really serious about getting to a gem level within this company, I would tell you that those three things are the things that you're going to need to concentrate on, as well as, and I'll add one more thing to that, learning as much as you can about the products. I'm still learning every day, and I encourage you to do the same thing, because our nutrition information and all of that changes on a compliance issues, etc. It changes on a daily basis, and so we have to keep up. So those are my thoughts on that.
Also, I wanted to say, I don't know, for those of you that were at convention, if you heard Celeste say, they asked her, how did you grow your team? And she said it wasn't necessarily Facebook or one specific thing. It was the 37 years leading up to this that really made her credible in people's eyes. And so I've been thinking a lot about that. They called it social credit. That's really a big deal, because listen to this. If before Plexus, the people that you touched on a daily basis by your posts, if your posts were negative and, crazy, and you were getting in debates with people all the time and what have you, and if they were anything less than just a positive atmosphere, you aired your dirty laundry somewhere else besides Facebook, that goes a long way. People have watched you your whole life. They know your character, they know your integrity, they know how you interact socially, and so that kind of is a social credit for you, or a social discredit, depending on how you have approached life. So
the good news is regardless of, where you came from, let's say you were that negative person, I do believe you have an opportunity to turn it around. It may take you a little bit longer, and it may, you have to kind of prove yourself to your audience, especially when you're utilizing social media, as well as when you're in person. But, be focused on positive, and I think we're going to speak a little bit about that tonight. But it is so very important for you to, and I'll kind of touch on this a little bit, but to speak positivity not only into your life but into your business. And that is crucial. You can't post 1 minute how you feel amazing. I feel better at 42 than I did in my whole entire life, but then your next post is, I'm going to kill my neighbor because she's crazy. That just doesn't, those two things don't go hand in hand. So we want to be, we want to walk the walk and talk the talk.
And also, one of the things that Sonia Dudley really hits home with is she's so positive. And when we think, and I'm not saying,
don't be fake.
No, I'm not saying fake. And I'm not saying everything has to be rainbows and unicorns, okay?
Don't post about it.
But what I am saying is that in life, we can choose whether or not we want to look at things positively or negatively. And everything, even the things that are challenges, can still be viewed in a positive view, because God has us in these situations to grow us, to teach us, to stretch us, and to make us more of what he wants us to be in the end. So we just have to kind of yield to that and really speak positivity over our lives. And it's a hard thing sometimes when we're filled with an environment. If you have just constant negativity at your workplace or with people you hang around, you're going to be most like the people that you hang around. And you're going to be most like the information that you take in on a daily basis. So let's just keep that positive. I know we're running short on time. We've got 4 minutes. I wanted to do this. We're going to do like last week, where those of you who would like to stay on, we're going to stay on and address whatever questions that we have. I want to let you know that Leaders Retreat contest points, starting for the new Leaders Retreat, are going to start going out next week from Chris Pike. So expect to see the latest Leaders Retreat points going out next week.
They're usually done on Wednesdays.
Right, about an hour or so after the team call. There's so many they have to send up, they send them in rounds. So, okay, and the final thing before I open it up for questions is, so many people have asked, and if you don't know about it yet, then you're going to be educated here. But our new product, the Omega, which is the Mega X that was unveiled at the convention. Very exciting product because it's a plant-based omega vitamin. And this is kind of what we need to start educating people on. But I don't know if some of you guys noticed, but one of the ingredients, a very minuscule amount, but it's still there, is carrageenan. And I wanted to address this because I know some of you have come to me and asked me, how do you address it with people and your teams when we've done such a hard line on avoiding carrageenan and avoiding that in the products that we drink when we make our P96 shakes and what have you. Carrageenan, if you don't know it, is derived from red seaweed, but it is approved for organic use and all of that. However, it is not one of those things that you want to really consume because it does have adverse effects to the body. So having said that, carrageenan is in actually the capsule that the Mega X is in. It's not actually in the capsule, but it's it's not actually in the gel. What am I trying to say?
It's in the outer lining. It's what holds the gel, the formula. And there's a very minute amount. And here's what we need to do, y'all. I have every bit of confidence that our leadership will listen to us. I will give you both sides, and then I will ask you to be the voice of where you stand. So the first part being, as Heather said, there's a very minimal amount of carrageenan in the capsule. You have the option of puncturing it and pouring it into a capsule that doesn't have that in it. If this is something that you're passionate about. This product has been sent out to 3 separate labs, and all of the labs came back and said that this product was a groundbreaking product for our industry and that it has far more benefits than any risk. However, because we've been so passionate about that, we would ask that you email Tarl and or Alec and Keith Jackson, who is also one of our executives. The way that this gets changed is by our voices, and I would highly encourage you to email them as a concern, because we know that there are people out there that have very adverse risks to it, and why not put it in a capsule that would benefit everybody, and we just avoid that risk, especially since we as ambassadors, and keep in mind, Plexus Corporate never backed the whole carrageenan thing, our warriorness, if you will, and promotion of products without it. However, we have, and so I think we need to remain consistent to that, and we need to band together and address that. Both Heather and I are in the process of working on our own individual letters to them, and it's okay to send all three of them the same. But we will post on the team page, Heather's team page, the addresses in which you can send those concerns to. And again, they being Alec, Charles, Keith, Marianne, and the other executives, I know I'm leaving one out, they back us and they hear us. And that's one thing I can speak confidently about is A, we don't put products out that are harmful, but B, they listen to us and they want to make us happy, because at the end of the day, we are the heartbeat of the company. So that's our position on it.
And also I'd like to add to that, actually, let me give you the emails right now, because I know they're having a board meeting tomorrow discussing this. And so if this is of a concern to you,
We'll give it to you now, and then we'll follow it
right
after this call. We'll put it, in fact, I'll start putting it on the team page right now. And then
okay, let me give it to you guys. If this is a concern, you can address it by emailing Tarl, Alec, and Keith. You can send them all the same thing. But this is, guys, the only way this is going to change is for them to hear our voices. So if you have people that have already spoken to you about their dislike for it, please, please, please get them this information so that they can get their concerns addressed by sending it to, are y'all ready? Tarl, T-A-R-L, at plexusworldwide.com. That's Tarl's address. Alec, A-L-E-C, at plexusworldwide.com. And then Keith Jackson, his is a little different. His is Keith.Jackson at plexusworldwide.com. And Rainey's putting it on the team page as well so that we have that address. And if you will just send people that appropriate information and let them make their own decisions based on their own convictions, that's the way we are taking it as a team stand, and that's how we're going to handle it going forward. Okay, I am going to ask that you guys unmute your phones. I'm going to stop the recording, and those of you who need to go,